Hey guys, it's Robin. My Alkaline Vegan Journey. I'm live on YouTube because I just learned that I don't know how I learned, but my TikTok, where we had about 90,000 members, has been suspended about a couple of videos that they went back a year or so and dug up. Hold on. I'll tell you like this. If you don't know who I am, I believe this thing is really big. I guess what they didn't know is that I used to be an investigator. I worked for the defense. I started with a program called CJA, which is the Criminal Justice Act established by Congress for those attorneys in the public defender's office to have some relief. They actually got sued. And because the district is basically a district, it's not a state, the feds basically take control. If y'all know anything about Mayor Berry, y'all know the strength of which this body presides. But anyhow, back, I guess it was in 71 or so, they established the CJA. And what it allowed was practicing attorneys to be able to join in with the public defenders in defending people who were arrested, defense attorneys. And with that came their ability to hire investigators. And I was one of those investigators for a long time. I mean, a long time. I loved the work. I really did, because I knew nothing really about the legal system. And learning at the beginning, I was fascinated. And they do hold you accountable for knowing the law. You can use that excuse, I didn't know, that does not float a boat in most courts, because I don't know why. They figure you're supposed to know it. I don't know. But anyhow, I wound up, transitioning after a case, and I moved to Australia and then came back to the U.S. to visit and wasn't allowed back to Australia because of COVID. Everything shut down. So I transitioned my life on February, I want to say the 24th. I can't remember right now, but 2020, when COVID was at its height and they were mandating everything. They wanted us to have limited time in the streets, and I think they were enforcing that too. Anyone that was not work affiliate didn't get a chance to float free or whatever. The grocery stores and limited access. Yeah, I remember. Anyhow, during that time, I wound up saying to myself, honestly, I don't like shots. That was the first thing. I don't like injections. I don't like that feeling. No. But I decided, even above and beyond that, I don't want nothing they got to give, because it doesn't seem like we floating on a boat that's for us. And I wasn't really clued into it really until I started the journey. That first fast, I did one fast because that was my thing. You can't just not do nothing, whether you take the shot or not. You can't not just do nothing. You got to be doing something. And I started at that point. Where that came from, I don't know, because I'm a regular Joe. I love food and I eat everything. I was traveling a lot, so I was eating everything. And when it came down to deciding, I think it was the day before Lent or something, and I decided I got to do something, because I was just in Ohio visiting mom, went to the church, and I always go to church when I'm there. I try to, because that's like a family thing. Family from all over kind of comes together at this church. And it's kind of like having a family reunion, seeing everybody at once. But anyhow, that particular sermon, it affected me. That's all I can say, because that's where this fasting idea came from. Because I said January when I was in Ohio, I need to really check this God thing out for real. Because, I think I got baptized when I was 12. And from that point on, I've been having sightings and things. And I'm just now being able to make clear of the stuff when I was like 7, 8, around the time when my dad died. Stuff that's just memories that are coming back, and I'm able to sort them out. And I know why that is. Yeah, I went bullish with fasting because I couldn't understand it. After 21 days, I lost 60 pounds. I mean, where'd that come from? Where'd that number even come from? You know, I wasn't trying to lose weight, not at all, at all. As a matter of fact, I remember sitting at the dinner table with my water and on the computer, um, and they hadn't served yet. Uh, no plates were on the table. I was there doing work, and I mean, researching straight up because I'm like, I'm in this doggone thing. I don't really know what this is, but it feels right. It just had it was so positive. It had me even in thinking, can you really do 21? You got it like that? You really about that? Really? And I had that big old canister of cashews. I just gone to Walmart, Wegmans, somebody, and just bought that big old container of cashews. And I love cashews. And I was fiending for them. I was fiending for them. Even though I read, no, don't just go back into that kind of food and all of that. And I was committed to doing this hierarchy that I created of breaking the fast. But anyhow, I wound up looking not even looking in the mirror. I'm wondering why my stretch pants still. And when Brittany said to me, she was at the table and she said, "Mommy, are you okay?" She had genuine concern in her voice. And she says, um, "You have lost a lot of weight." And this might have been day 15. Because I remember day 7. The heck is that in that toilet? Y'all. It freaked me out, literally. I'm telling you, I'm like, what is that? It's not feces, it's not urine, it's something kind of in between. And it wasn't even in between. I later learned that it was the excess mucus exiting my body. What? It was a lot. And all I can think of is if that stuff was still in my system, like it is with most of you, it took me to that age to finally get that stuff out my system. But y'all understand what I mean? When you actually start this journey with the beginning, and that is purging your system, that's what you want to see. All of that stuff exiting naturally because your body's doing it. It knows how to regulate, conserve, all the and everything that's needed. You don't have to worry about no side effects, none of that. It is all natural. And that's why I tell people start at the beginning with a fast. And I'm talking about a reset fast. Now, we're calling it um, uh, uh, reset detoxification because you can get to this point without just abstaining from food. But that's the complete route. There are some things that you can do, but they take longer. Like when you do the all fruit fast, that's excellent. When you do the all tea fast, that's excellent. Um, I think they've even got all sea moss fast. That's brilliant, because it's like no calories, but all the nutrients that your body needs. It's not a cleansing thing more so than an acclimation thing, just edifying your body with every nutrient it needs on a daily. So it knows how it's supposed to function. And that's what you do with the sea moss, bladderwrack, and burdock root. Those are the 3 that I use, but they're not the only 3 that you can use. Um, just inundating your body with all those nutrients to force out. And I believe it increases the stem cell production as well. And it allows you to be feeding the body the right stuff. You know what I mean? And I think that's a fast in of itself. But I'm thinking that anything that's in your system, if you want it immediately out to reverse like chronic illness, to actually change the way your skin looks, your weight and all that, the most thorough, most efficient, most direct quickest way is distilled water fasting. Y'all check out Alan Goldhammer. I follow him. When I found out that he got arrested for prescribing fasting back in the 80s, I got interested. I'm like, what? You don't even have to take the prescription. And if you do, how can it not help? You're under a doctor's care. And I keep telling people, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a physician. I'm not in the medical healthcare industry really at all, because mine is holistic. I'm kind of doing for me and sharing with you. That's all. You got to do your own research. You got to check things out for you, because I'm telling you, the path that this is taking me on, that's what we get into, that human frequency. Even though we can all be on the same frequency, we are different. And it's a good difference. It delineates us from one another so that we can blend, almost like a puzzle. You ain't going to find two puzzle pieces that are identical, but we are a puzzle, and we are meant to come together and share the big picture, But I think that when you get into cleansing the body immediately and directly with a distilled water reset fast, you get there. But you got to check with your doctors or your holistic practitioners, your homeopaths. I mean, or do research. When that channel on TikTok, My Alkaline Vegan Journey, I believe is under suspension or something, because we posted some facts and they stepped on some toes. Simple as that. I'm an investigator. I've been doing my research, so I already know. I was just waiting for the thing to hit. And I didn't even prepare, because the 90,000 people that were accrued since 21, I believe. I mean, these are people that have stepped into a realm that they have no idea about. And I believe that I am that conduit to every last one of them. I don't care if we still on TikTok together or not. They will resonate. If they caught anything, and I'm talking about even with a recipe, because I'm telling you, there's something with doing, in a matter of 2 years, I want to say, 10 different fasts that were for 21 days, all water, and 2 for 40 days with nothing but water. Something has to happen to your body. Something has to happen to your mental, cognitive abilities. So, I mean, you are now like newly recreated, because them stem cells got in there and they help to purge all diseased or dysfunctioning cells. And doing that again and again and again, yeah, you are almost to where you should be to reach a certain space. I'm telling you, I think I'm on that. And I think I'm doing things now to kind of, come back to what I remember as being reality, because there's no one to talk to. You know what I mean? There's no one to really collaborate with. I'm here in St. Lucia. My whole journey led me. I don't know what that was. And I feel so at home. I love this place. You hear me? And it's despite all the other stuff that, goes with just living life and living here. Different cultures, different foods, different mannerisms, different perceptions, different actions, different reactions. I mean, yeah, we all look alike, but guess what? It just elevates to me, because I lived in Malta for a minute. I lived in Australia for a minute. I lived in Aruba for a minute. I lived in Haiti for a minute. I lived in Iceland for a minute. I was curious when and I have to say thanks to Ray Cole. Man, we used to travel. He got me back into that spirit of just freeing up just that much to go somewhere. Anyhow, I think that where you allow yourself to be either complements or supplements where you will ultimately wind up. And if that's a place of where you can envision joy and peace and security, and you wind up elevating to that, especially if that's kind of your ultimate goal. Because I have what I call intentions. Every day, my intention is to be happy. And that may not seem very, uh, I don't know, eloquent, but it is baseline what I perceive happiness to be. And that's just no problems, no worries. Everything is copacetic. You can actually think and create and imagine and then create. All of that is in play. And I've felt it too many times. I know when I don't feel it. I know when I don't feel it. Everything about me changes. Everything about me, kind of gets redirected. And I'm working on that control. And we all need to, because there's so many things that, happen in real life that you can completely control. You just step out of it, whatever the consequences, no matter what the be all end all, right then and there, and it's your first tuition. And a lot of us don't pay attention to that first tuition. I'm wondering why. Because we let, at that instance, doubt and forms of insecurity and things step in. That first thought is the right thought. I believe it, no matter how the consequences, and I think we get that. So we travel the path that we're supposed to travel, and you got some other things that come into play to make you think that you made the wrong decision. No, stick with it, make it and stick with it. Do you realize there's a frequency in just deciding? There is an actual frequency to you actually making a decision. I love that. And that's why I go with your first tuition, stick with it. Because I know I have a daughter that she second guesses herself a lot. And once and I say mine came from purging my body, but yours might come a different way, where you see the light and you can kind of peek the future based on your current actions and reactions. You already got that. It's kind of second nature. It flashes as you make the decision to make the move. It's like I don't know. For me, that's how it is. I know what the future is going to be when I do whatever. It's already in my mind. So I choose all things positive. I really do. On intention. Because like I said, for the day, the intention is to be happy. And I've said this many a time. And I do have often things that get in the way of that. So, when they persist, you got to just do something different. You can't control nobody but you. So, you got to make the decision, because it depends on how you set your intentions. Are you intending on being, it has to be descriptive too. It has to be more than, I want money, I want a house, I want this. I think that those are great. And that's why I chose to intend on just being happy. It envelops everything: financial, relationship, my demeanor, happy, blanket. And that, directing to all things positive. So, yeah, I believe that my site on TikTok was threatening, because they didn't even give me a chance to do anything. I didn't even know how to appeal it, because I'm not into that part of it. It's really amazing that my content really touched so many people. I'm so grateful for that, because I know everything because of the first fast in February. My whole life changed. I started, doing the type foods that were recommended, and, all that. And then I had to test it. I went all outside the box, and I was testing meat, cheese, and everything. But I always fasted after. And I come to realize maybe that's the trick, knowing when to purge your system. And I mean to the root, because stuff is sitting in there just, I don't know, it's visceral fat. And in the visceral fat, you have these toxins and all the stuff that's being stored on purpose. It's storing it on purpose, but the stuff's not good for you. So you really got to purge that. Now, if you were eating things like, whole foods that didn't contain any acidity like meat and cheese do, and you just fed it alkaline stuff, it just makes sense, because almost every organ in our body is operating on some acidity. So for the homeostasis, that is the equaling of all, you know, functions, whether it be the chemical balances, the uh, just a functioning, proper functioning of the organs, homeostasis, all things being good. It seems like feeding that acidic body alkaline would help to keep it in a homeostasis. And I believe also that too much alkalinity is just as bad as too much acidity, you know, so it's a balance. But also, once you get it right, and even if you don't, and you're close to just uh, being on that frequency, it really is amazing. When you get with other people that are on that frequency, it is pronounced. It is so. I mean, I literally, I just saw the lady's face, and I got chill bumps. And when she gave me that hug, y'all, that to me was straight up resonance. That's what we've been talking about all year long on TikTok, live, post, and everything. You're seeking the resonance because I'm telling you, everybody around us felt like crying. I mean, it was such a moving moment. And I understand it because we did. I mean, I don't think she did the 21 days, but she was on that frequency with the way she was eating. You know, I believe that, you know, she's older and she caught on, you know, at a perfect time because she looks wonderful. You know what I'm saying? Oh, just beautiful, beautiful. Harriet, I'm telling you. Wow. Anyhow, I know what resonance feels like. And it's like once your body is on a certain frequency, and you can obtain that frequency from purging the body with a reset detoxification and having that all things that are unnecessary in 21 days, I would suggest, because those are 3 cycles of the cell. And those 3 cycles are coming through just purging all of that stuff that shouldn't be there. Most of it, I won't say all, because 40 days was amazing. And I think 40 days of nothing but water is when you hit a spiritual. I did the first 40-day fast a year after doing the first four 21-day fast. And that was brought upon because I was not playing around. I was stranded in DC and realized I couldn't get back to Australia for at least a minute. So I kind of buckled down and I rented, or I actually shared a house with some other people. They didn't even want me in there because I didn't take the injection. I'm like, okay, yeah, but I'm on a different phase. I'm eating this, I'm doing this. I'm probably in better situated than all y'all. All of them had the shot, right? I'm like, okay, I'll just stay in my room primarily because I didn't know. It's like too experimental for me. And you have to get it on spot. Nah, not I. Let me see some other people go through whatever. And I still probably wouldn't take it. I know for fact from my research, and that's in my mind, that there is a cure with everything that is growing naturally on this earth. You don't need any manipulation by anything. And I'm finding that out with just my journey. But anyhow, and that's why I think they exited stage right. I mean, they suspended on spot. 3 posts. One was one that I had taken from somebody else's page, and it's still up on their page. But I just reposted it on my page, and it got cited for misinformation. And the first one I was reacting to them, they didn't even give a reason for the violation. They just said it violated their terms of agreement or guidelines or whatever. So I posted all of this, all of the responses, all the stuff. I posted all of it on TikTok, on that page. And then I think another one, they gave that other page a warning too. I'm like, what are y'all doing? What is this? Anyhow, so the one that had me puzzled is the one that was least on the page for anything because it's been sitting up there for about a year and a half, maybe 2 years. I don't know. I found out about dandelion root back when I was still in DC, and that was 2021. I moved in 2022, so it's like The damn thing has been up for years, and y'all went for, and it's been pinned on my page. It was in 2 parts, right? I had a part 1 and part 2 because I was going to show you. I showed y'all how to make dandelion root coffee, y'all. It's doing all great things for you, as it turns out, according to the NIH website. You can't get more peer-reviewed, scholarly than that. And I read it word for word, y'all. The voiceover was word for word from that article. How did something like that happen? And I think I might have mentioned Bayer. Y'all know it's a big thing with Bayer. Bayer done bought Monsanto. Y'all know. Monsanto. Let me read to you what Chat GPT has to say about this whole thing, because I've been like, what? The whole My Alkaline Vegan Journey TikTok page is gone because of posts that I put up 2 years ago and have been pinned for the 2 years on my page. I got it. Every time I do a screenshot, they're up there, right? So I decided to, now that we have 10 minutes, and it took me a long time to do it, I decided to put both of them together. So I took just quite literally took out the little TikTok at the end and put them together and then posted them. Woo! 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 I mean, like that. I'm so glad I got the whole thing. And I sent it to a lot of people, email and stuff. I'm so glad I did that because I don't normally do that. But see, I don't know. The forces that be are leading and guiding me in ways I would never have gone. Why am I in St. Lucia? It wasn't even on the radar like that. It was Bimini. I still got clothes down in Bimini with some of my friends, because that's where I was going almost every doggone chance I could. I had to be in that water, and Bimini was it. But I'm here in St. Lucia, y'all, and I love it. I mean, I ain't even thought about Bimini for real. I do, all my friends and stuff. And because I don't have my WhatsApp now, it's kind of like can't really get in touch with a lot of people. I think all this stuff was scripted, though. I don't know. Because I don't want to be no conspiracy theorist or anything. But, being an investigator, you get those tingly sensations, that intonation, that first thought. And I say, don't dismiss it. But I'm not. I'm really not. But check out what I'm finding out. I don't know. Maybe they found the wrong one. They really 90,000 probably like, what? And she putting this back out there? I don't even get that many people to come to my page. Just like, with 90,000 followers, there were only like 100 or 200 people even getting to view it. So I don't know. I wasn't doing it for that. When I started TikTok, it was because my daughter suggested it so I would have space to keep videos and stuff. I didn't even at the beginning, I didn't even know other people could see it, But I'm going to tell you, I know for a fact I'm being led and guided because I'm making moves that weren't even in my purview. I don't know where, and they're all for my good. Man, y'all, check it. My Alkaline Vegan Journey is going to be the largest non-governmental organization that truly hits the spot for all humanity. I mean, that's 100% humanity. I don't know. Y'all get them chips and stuff, the Elon Musk chips and stuff. I don't know. It's just like us adopting Google or adopting, America Online, putting it in our computer, even the computers and all that stuff, where we're adopting this advancement in small chunks. Some people just jumping on it are advancing even faster because they're taking advantage of it. Like, what? They gatekeeping and all that stuff too, because they don't want you to be there. I don't think there's ever been a consensus on really showing you how to make it there, because I don't know. I think that what I'm offering is straight up, you do it for yourself because you are enlightened. Straight up, you do it for yourself, or you don't. You can subscribe or not. I'm not into none of y'all's numbers like that. If you don't ever show up, that's because you're not led and guided to. I believe this is on a higher frequency, and many I don't know. You just because I know when I stop at a video, it's talking about some content that I'm interested in, and I have to check it out. But if you're not interested in it, you're not gonna stop. So that means you're not on that frequency yet. That I like that. You're not on that frequency yet. But I believe that on YouTube it might be more viable because it's something that you can actually go in and look up. Human frequency transformation is what we have created with all that we're doing, Journey to Enlightenment here in St. Lucia, inspired by the 90,000 plus TikTok family members that My Alkaline Vegan Journey had. Uh, and I have to really soak that in. I don't know how to get in touch with y'all like that because I don't even have access to any parts of that site. And I actually went on to see if some of the stuff that on my friend's phone he downloaded, if I could access that video, can't even do that. So if you have any videos from My Alkaline Vegan Journey on TikTok, hold them. They're going to be worth something in a minute. Hold them. Let me read to you what I found out, because I was like, this don't make sense, because this particular video was all about me showing you how to make dandelion root coffee. I kind of discovered it through people doing some other stuff with roots, and I'm like, really? Yeah, you can roast it. And it probably is on the heels of some castor oil, because you have to roast those beans too, and that's to reduce. I believe it's to reduce the content of that ricinoleic acid. And we'll talk about that rice bomb that they made straight from the castor. But now it's saying castor oil in an amount that your body is, whoa. But I'm telling you, you get more of it here in St. Lucia because it's land. Everything on this island has volcanic everything, They've got the only active drive-through volcano in the world. Active, called Sulphur Springs, y'all. Come lay in that warm pool from that active volcano. I mean, really, only here in St. Lou. But I'll tell you this, and that stuff is and we're going to do some research on just how that is an electrical charge for your body. Do it on a regular, please. But I'm going to tell you that the farm, Zimbabwe Farm, is an organic Rastafarian farm. Hold on, I got to see what's happening. I thought he was talking to himself, because he does that. He get frustrated and be talking to himself, and I'm thinking he's talking, and he's actually talking to somebody. But anyhow, but all of this led me to this. I would not have even thought twice about it had they not tagged this particular video. Like I was saying, I was making some coffee with the dandelion roots. Then just because like I had a series going on herbs and adaptogens, and I found out all this information about dandelion. I'm like, I'm trying to figure out how many people know about this. Y'all go through the list of the benefits of dandelion, even with cancers. And I'm like, this Roundup. I remember Roundup because I've used it. Get rid of them damn dandelions in your lawn. They look so ugly in that lawn. You ain't want it. So my thing was, I don't want the dandelion. So I've used it. Until you know better, you can't do better. But when you know better, you better do better. Anyhow, so I know from firsthand how it eradicated dandelions, but it didn't help because they always came back. I don't know what that was, making them more pernicious. I don't know what that was. I like to do research on that. And they got this guy, and this is in just doing the research about this dandelion. Led me to Monsanto with the Roundup, then led me to Bayer, who bought them out. Why are you sending them my way? Y'all, hold on one second. I got to take a commercial break. Come here, baby. He's sending you this way. I'm going to put you on camera, too. Let me get a sip first. And y'all, I hate not being authentic because I would have done that right on camera, but I don't know what they allow and what they don't allow, and I'm not trying to tempt it. I just want to get this information out. Fasting is the way. I mean, bottom line, straight up, puts you on a different level completely. And if you don't do it, you don't have to. Stay where you are doing what you do. This is something new to a lot of people that is working for many. I mean, all people who have done it have all benefited. The ones that have done it with us. We had over 5,000 people fasting with us in 2022. January, we have started, since 21, 22, fasting every year. January 2nd to January 23rd. And then we go right into the hierarchy of breaking the fast. Y'all don't miss that one, because that's what's going to keep that visceral fat in check. It's going to keep it in check. The breaking of the fast, that's the hierarchy. And we're going to go through that as well. But what I really want to impress upon you all is do your research with all things. It will lead and guide you to the truth about you. And you need to learn yourself. And that's what fasting did for me. It allowed me to really learn myself. What's causing me to itch. I'm telling you, I know that it was because I had some, I don't know, hay fever, my nose. I used to always get these little bumps on my arms, and they would itch. So whatever it was, it got eradicated with the fasting, because I've not had any of that stuff. Yeah, I'm telling you, fasting, I believe, is the key that they really don't want you to know about. Y'all know they're forming foods to prevent you from fasting. I mean, the chemicals that are in the foods do just that. Anyhow, let me go into what I found about this connection. Now, let me go through it, because I want to tell you. Okay, let me read even my prompt for you, and I need to document this stuff because I don't know what they're doing. The whole page, because of an old video that's been pinned to my page for at least 2 years, and the voiceover is being read straight from a scholarly peer-reviewed article. How does that get pinned for misinformation? Dates and everything. I don't know what that's about, but it caused me to do what I'm doing now. Research. I want to know what this is really about. Is there some link between Monsanto Bayer family ties, whether they be family, marriage? Is there some connection between Monsanto and Bayer prior to the merge in 2018? Do some research and find out if there are any links between anyone involved with Monsanto, the owner, is the founders with the founders of Bayer. Find the connection between the two. I mean, because I knew it had to be something. Why would they? Just crazy, Conspiracy. Let's just play it out and see what happens. Because I'm gonna tell you what came from this. For me, Bayer, you go boy, you go boy. Oh, y'all don't understand what's coming down. And I bet those CEOs are on the board of the World Economic Forum, or has some connection with who? World Health Organization. You right in my light. I mean, straight up, right in my light. Y'all saw the shadow? That's him standing right in the doorway, right in the light. Anyhow, so there is indeed a connection between Monsanto and Bayer. Although it primarily involves business transactions rather than family ties, the most significant link comes from Bayer's 2018 acquisition of Monsanto. Right in my face. A merger that created a massive corporation in the chemical and agricultural sectors. Y'all tell me what you think about that. Comment. I'd like to get some conversation on this. With talks about expanding their agricultural portfolio. Before the merger, both companies had a long history in the agricultural and chemical sectors. and they had worked together in the past. For example, during the Vietnam War, Bayer and Monsanto jointly developed Agent Orange through a company called Mobay, which was a joint venture between the two firms. This won't see the light of day either. They created Agent Orange. Biological weapons. 2018, just as recent as 2018, Bayer, that wasn't even a merger. I think it was a takeover because the CEO, the top technical director are all gone. Hugh Grant, I think his name is, and I'll tell you when I get there. But anyhow, while the merger did not involve them, While the merger did not involve any direct family connections or marriages between two companies, founding families, it highlights the deep entanglement of their corporate histories and their shared involvement in controversial chemical products and agricultural practices. The combined entity after the merger would control a significant portion of the global seed and pesticide markets. If you're interested in learning more about the historical context of this corporate relationship, additional details can be found in the sources provided. I am most definitely interested in learning more about the context, the story, Storica. I don't know what I was saying, but I was dictating, and the dictation, we're not going to talk about that right now. But anyhow, it's not on point. I got to plug in because my battery is dying. Hold on. I shouldn't do it that way. Is this on? The plug? Okay, I think that's the best way to do it because, guys, yeah, I know I've been here in St. Lucia for almost 4 years, and it's like I've had 4 devices, 2 laptops, a Mac Air, a MacBook Pro, 2 phones, the 11 Pro Max and the 12 Pro Max. All of them are dead. And I believe because they're on 220 hertz of energy coming through that thing, and most devices are on, my devices were on 110 or something like that. Excuse me, that feels so good. And that's what we all need. Get rid of that excess air. I know when I lived in France, it was funny. They were kind of highly offended when you didn't belch. And that's why it's become so comfortable. Some people look at me like, ugh. No, that's what you need to do. You're going to keep it in? What? Anyhow, so it says that whatever I was saying about the contacts, I believe that Monsanto, as they were engineering Roundup to completely eradicate dandelions, Bayer was using dandelions to produce a heart medication. It is believed that this might have been enabled through Monsanto getting rid of the dandelions to provide clear access to them for Bayer, not having them in the public space for public use. That's what I said. So this is what chat says. Now they searched 3 sites, and I guess I can go to those sites. I probably will, because I'm telling you, this is just for entertainment purposes only. I used to be an investigator for criminal defense. I did a lot of corporate stuff. I did some a lot of international stuff. Like at the end, I was all over the place because my second to the last case was one that had some entanglement with the 9/11 crap. Anyhow, so it says here, Chad is responding to what I just asked because he's going to give me the historical value of the connection between Monsanto and Bayer. The idea you're exploring connects several fascinating elements. Now, check this out. This is what Chad is saying. The idea you're exploring connects several fascinating elements: the role of Monsanto, dandelions, and Bayer's involvement in pharmaceutical production. Historically, Monsanto's herbicide glyphosate, glyphosate, y'all, sold as Roundup. That's what, okay, glyphosate, I forgot about that. Has been controversial for its environmental and health impacts, probably causing heart disease. You know what I'm saying? Especially with genetically modified crops that are resistant to the herbicide, led to widespread use. Okay, let me read that again. Okay, wait a minute. Okay. Historically, Monsanto's herbicide glyphosate, sold as Roundup, has been controversial for its environmental and health impacts, particularly with its link to cancer. Glyphosate's broad application in agriculture, especially with genetically modified crops that are resistant to the herbicide, led to widespread use, which in turn raised concerns about its intended effects on non-target plants like dandelions. Dandelions was definitely, why are they saying non-targeted plants? Dandelions seem to be the main one. It was highly regarded as a weed. I mean, I think they even had it on their packaging. So the Roundup packaging, and I think that might have been what led me to buy it, because I couldn't stand them things. Couldn't even see the lawn for the dandelions. So upside down, I know, man. Once you learn better, learn and then know better, you do better. While there isn't a direct record of Monsanto targeting dandelions specifically to benefit Bayer's pharmaceutical operations, there could be an indirect link. Dandelions have been historically used in traditional medicine for various purposes, including as a source of heart medication. As Monsanto's glyphosate spread through agriculture, it significantly affected non-crop plants, including dandelions, which may have made them less available in some areas. Bayer, after acquiring Monsanto in 2018, continued to face scrutiny for its involvement with glyphosate, especially in the wake of lawsuits claiming its link to cancer and other health concerns. However, the connection between Monsanto's herbicide and Bayer's pharmaceutical interests would require deeper investigation into their corporate strategies, especially regarding plant-based medicinal research. More broadly, Monsanto's actions often raised concerns about the manipulation of agricultural ecosystems, which in turn affected various sectors, including traditional medicine and pharmaceutical production. You can explore this topic further through investigative reports like Whitewash by Kerry Gilliam, which delves into Monsanto's corporate behavior and its widespread impact. How much you want to bet? Many of these jokers are probably on the board for the World Economic Forum, you know, the New World Order, the 15-minute cities. Anyhow, so I said, summarize Whitewash by Kerry Gilliam and name 5 key points focusing on practical lessons I can apply in real life and anything that points to Monsanto manipulation, targeting dandelion, direct or indirect, early with Roundup, and Bayer possibly increasing their production of those medications using dandelion during this period. Okay. Whitewash, the story of a weed killer, cancer, and the corruption of science by Kerry Gilliam. Now, this is her book, and they're summarizing it, giving me these things that apply to my life. Now, Whitewash, so it says here, role of Monsanto, now Bayer, in promoting its controversial herbicide, Roundup, and its active ingredient, glyphosate. The book uncovers the company's influence over scientific research, its manipulation of regulatory agencies, and its efforts to downplay the health risks associated with glyphosate, particularly cancer. Here are 5 practical lessons from whitewash that you can apply in real life. The question corporate claims and influence. This is kind of telling you the things you need to be researching. So you're going to question corporate claims and influence. Gilliam highlights how Monsanto manipulated studies to suppress evidence of glyphosate's cancer risk. A key lesson is the importance of questioning corporate-sponsored research and being aware of the influence companies exert over science, media, and regulatory bodies. In your own life, whether it's choosing products or supporting causes, ensure the information you're receiving is unbiased and based on independent research. That's exactly what case studies are. That's why in the title, I'm like, let's do our own independent case studies as a independent group of people who start fasting, maybe with water, maybe with fruit, maybe, and let's do some real, let's get some information about each and every one of us. You keep it yourself. We share it on a basis of certain attributes that, I got to go look it up to see what attributes should be considered in a case studies with just random people with all kinds of backgrounds, all of that, and just really do a case study. I believe we can do it. And you can fast with whatever. It's only going to help you. Anyhow, the next thing was advocate for transparency and accountability. When Bayer bought Monsanto, they knew they took on the lawsuits that were pending against Monsanto. They knew the claims, and they know the claims. They cannot say that they didn't, because knowledge is part of the law. Knowledge of anything. If you're going to sue anyone, you have to prove that they had knowledge. So it's written up that they have knowledge that glyphosate has cancer risk. Now they can refute it, they can argue, but it goes on and on. Who's scientists? And that's why case studies are so important, because with case studies, you're not just looking at one person's vantage point. Other doctors, other people are weighing on this one doctor or professor or scientist paper on something that they're researching, something that they may have actually done case studies, meaning that they had a whole group of people from varying backgrounds or maybe similar background for the particular study doing a certain thing, like Alan Goldhammer. You go on and look on NIH for fasting, and you'll see Alan Goldhammer's work or someone who has worked with him. Walter Longo is another scientist that is clearly into the caloric intake and reducing it to almost nothing to effectuate a metabolic change within our bodies. So when you look up these things, not only is Longo and Goldhammer weighing in on just this very thesis or concept, other people are that are in professional positions like scientists are weighing in on this. So that's why it's not swayed by one pharmaceutical company, it's not swayed, run by this one pharmaceutical company, and they kind of fit it. And that's what it seems like Monsanto was trying to do, trying to fit, all of this, because they got studies on the glyphosate, all of this stuff. And you have to look those up. Show me studies that Monsanto did on glyphosate, any case studies, any of that. That's how you research. You have to do that. Advocacy for transparency and accountability is very important. These are some of the life lessons that we can take away from this Carey Gilliam's book, Whitewash. The book exposes the lengths Monsanto went to cover up evidence of harm caused by its products. As a consumer or an activist, you can demand transparency from corporations, urging them to make their scientific studies and internal communications public. This can apply to various industries, not just agriculture, where corporate interests might conflict with public health. I'm telling you, this is like a playbook for you all with Bayer, because it's coming. It's coming. They ain't by that company Monsanto under all that stuff. But they are already telling us that Monsanto was leading in bioagricultural stuff. They were leading. They were manipulating these regulatory agencies. This is what the book says. So I don't know how true it is. I don't know how backed it is. It's still on the shelves. Anyhow, support sustainable and ethical practices. Monsanto's role in creating an agricultural system heavily reliant on herbicides led to environmental and health concerns. So Monsanto's role in creating an agricultural system heavily reliant on herbicides led to environmental and health concerns. One practical takeaway is the importance of supporting sustainable farming and environmentally friendly practices, especially in relation to chemical-free agriculture and biodiversity conservation. Why don't they see that? I guess there's no money in it. And, they trying not to be paper thin. Y'all know what I mean when I say paper thin? You can see right through it. It's cloaked a little bit. You don't see every letter, but you see what they doing. Trying to, get it because they want a monopoly on this. Agriculture having a monopoly on it where you can't get a seed unless you buy one. How long have I been telling y'all, save your seeds, plant them things, have them start growing second, third, fourth generation seeds. I mean, you should be on at least fourth generation tomato seeds or maybe more. Since I've been saying save your seeds, save all of them. Don't throw nary one because you see they telling you up front with the whole goal. They not saying it per se, but you can see it. Once they have the control of agriculture, what you gonna eat? Right. Thank you. Anyhow, understand the power of lobbying. Monsanto's influence on regulatory agencies like the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, demonstrates how powerful lobbying can shape public policy. Understanding the impact of corporate lobbying can help you become more politically aware and support initiatives that promote stronger consumer protections and regulatory oversight in various industries. Y'all prepare because it's coming. Bayer owns it all now. They are like the corner. Not many others are selling seeds. Not many others are, And what's interesting is I think they're allowing the sale of whatever these seeds might be, because I can never forget having a tomato that did not have seeds. I don't know if it was experimental. I grew it from a seed though. Anyhow, we talk about that on my TikTok. I can't even access any of the videos that I created. Some solely on TikTok's platform. Can't even access those. I don't know what that's about. They want to go through each and every one. Oh no. Anyhow, yeah, we need to be more aware because we got to eat this shit. For real. We have to eat it, and if we be informed about health impacts of everyday products. Whitewash stresses. That's the book that Carrie Gilliam wrote about Monsanto. Whitewash. It stresses the importance of being aware of long-term health consequences of widely used products like Roundup. Man, but it was getting rid of them doggone weeds. Like, what? Especially dandelions. And we didn't really particularly have dandelions all over, but it was crushing them. And how do that without really damaging the grass like that? I don't know. I'm telling you, I am right with most who have ever used Roundup. We just didn't ask questions. We weren't concerned. It was doing what they kind of put in our mind needed to be done. Because as we know now, why are we killing these weeds? These weeds are medicinal. Why are we doing that? For lawns. What the lawn doing for you? You know what I mean? Anyhow, a practical lesson is to educate yourself about the chemicals in everyday items, from pesticides to pharmaceuticals. and consider their potential effects on your health and the environment. For instance, if you're concerned about dandelions or other plants, knowing the chemicals that might affect them is essential. And I wasn't really caring about, I did not like dandelions. That was one of my also target. And to see that like I said, I think it's actually on the package for Roundup, one of the packaging. I'm like, that's it. And y'all know how we are. I mean, you see how shallow that is? I just wanted to get rid of them. And I went and it did exactly what I wanted to do at the time. Until you know better, Monsanto, Roundup, and dandelions. Although whitewash doesn't specifically discuss a targeted effort by Monsanto to eradicate dandelions for Bayer's benefit, it does expose how Monsanto's promotion of glyphosate disrupted ecosystems by killing not only weeds but also beneficial plants like dandelion. Dandelions were historically used in traditional medicine. You think that if you are in agro any god doggone thing, you know about this. You know what I mean? I'm just learning. Dandelions were historically used in traditional medicine. And as a result, their suppression could indirectly impact industries that relied on them for natural remedies, such as those producing heart medications. Y'all just realize that you got to understand and I'm saying the elites, I'm saying those people who are probably on the board of the World Economic Forum. I'm saying there are a lot of people who have control because of their lobbying efforts, because of their money, that don't give a flying fuck about your health. And I'm saying, first and foremost, save your seeds. Save your seeds. And I'm telling you, I know there's going to be an airstrike of some sort because they want, I mean, how is the federal government in America, got some law that you're supposed to register your gardens? I only heard about this. This is just from what I've heard on TikTok, but several have confirmed, and I consider them reliable sources there in gardening, but I think that's interesting because now that this one company, Bayer, who is also in pharmaceutical production, but now also over a major sector of agricultural, the agricultural industry, just by the acquisition of Monsanto. I don't know. I have to think about that. Anyhow, and even though my major concern was dandelions because of this video, I'm trying to figure out Bayer, really? I mean, you think people don't know about this stuff and my whole page had to go? I mean, that's the only reason why I'm doing this kind of research, because if I cared enough, we got to do something. No, but I just like to know, because I need to know. And I think I'm being led to find out, because it takes you down a rabbit hole, like cancel the clothing company. And I like to, I got to go through his video. He has a lot of videos with these folks. He did a whole thing on all these items that we're buying from the grocery store and how they're interrelated as far as these companies, all leading to BlackRock. I wonder where, I really wonder where Bayer sits on the fence with BlackRock. BlackRock probably got controlling interest of those shares too. It's all the way to the top, y'all. My one video. Because how many of y'all knew that Bayer had acquired Monsanto? I didn't. I'm asking. I'm talking about to just a couple days ago when I'm asking ChatGPT about the connection between these two. Because how you gonna take a video straight up that I'm showing you I'm in my garden pulling these damn dandelions and taking the roots, washing them, doing the whole video, and every word of the voiceover comes from a scholarly, peer-reviewed article, and you cite it for misinformation? You need to take that somewhere else. I'm gonna show y'all the video. It's on YouTube. The whole video. Part 1 and part 2. It's not connected. I ain't put it over there yet. But I am. Unless it's gone too. I don't know. Is Google's CEO? I don't know. Are they all on the fence with this WEF? I kind of delineate people on being them, they, those, as those that are sitting on the board for the World Economic Forum, because they got an agenda for your ass. They got an agenda for your ass. You don't understand. When they start telling you where you got to live, and they start assuming all the farms and the agriculture and start putting things in line with running everything you can eat. I'm starting to side with, what's this, man? I don't have it over here. Something just dropped over there, the purple one. But check this out. I got a Rastafarian on the farm. His name is Akila. And when I tell him about my 21 days, 10 times, nothing but water, and my 2 times with 40 days with nothing but water, he's like, yeah, I'm cool with that because I'm talking about breatharianism. Don't eat nothing ever. And I think they are hydrating themselves, but it's only with stuff like coconut water. And that would give you electrolytes and everything. It's almost like that sea moss fast, where that's all you do is sea moss. And I don't know. I haven't done enough research to speak intelligently on none of that. And I can't wait to do that research because it's intriguing. Can people really live without eating? Is eating, because his premise is that eating is what causes us the cycle of having to repair ourselves. And that makes sense because doggone it, every time you eat, you're storing fat for starvation. You're storing stuff in times of starvation. But if you ain't never had that, would you even have to go through that cycle? I don't know. I ain't telling nobody to do nothing because I'm checking it out as well. But let me finish reading this about Monsanto Roundup and dandelions. So although whitewash doesn't specifically discuss the targeted effort by Monsanto to eradicate dandelions for bears' benefit, it does expose how Monsanto's promotion of glyphosate disrupted ecosystems by killing not only weeds, but beneficial plants like dandelions. Dandelions had always been known to be historically used. I didn't know it before 2021 when I did the report on it. I knew nothing about dandelions. I wouldn't have been trying to kill them. But that was, it all goes together. But see, we live and we learn. Everything happens for a reason. I hope y'all see that right here and right now. I hope y'all see that. I am not mad about TikTok. If it's time to go, it's time to go. I don't care who makes you go. You might have been disobedient in the first place. And things have to happen. But I'm really kind of relieved with that particular TikTok account. Because I could see 200 or 300 people viewing my videos. And it's staying up there, 90,000 plus followers. Who are they? Because I don't know. And I'll have a pretty much like an eidetic memory. I can tell, I don't know, interaction, it helps, but I can tell. It's only been since the fasting, but anyhow, how they were killing the dandelions. And dandelions were historically used in traditional medicine. And as a result, their suppression indirectly impacted industries that relied on them for natural medicines. So it says here, while there's no concrete evidence linking Monsanto's herbicide use directly to broader pharmaceutical production, no. I'm reading ahead and trying and thinking at the same time. Let me say it again. While there's no concrete evidence linking Monsanto's herbicide use directly to Bayer's pharmaceutical production, the disruption of ecosystems may have had broader implications for plant-based medicine, especially during the period when glyphosate use was expanding. For further detailed insights, you can read Whitewash for a deeper understanding. I'm gonna read that. Now, there's some other books that they went through, but I'm not going to get to those right now. But I believe that there is a direct connect to that one thing on Dandelion, because nobody really knows about Dandelion, or did at that time. And it was exposing. That's why I got so many hits. It went viral. It was like 500,000 hits on this thing. 500,000 hits on this thing. And I think they were like, I don't know, 90,000. I forgot so many comments, and I almost replied to all. That's when I was back on that stage where I'm going to contact with everybody who writes a comment. Everybody, I'm going to engage with them because these are my friends. These are people who are seeing this stuff and like, what? Having conversation. However, no clear documentation or business strategies suggest that Monsanto intentionally targeted dandelions for Bayer's benefit, especially since Bayer did not own Monsanto until 2018. The idea that Roundup's use benefited Bayer's pharmaceutical production by eradicating dandelions is speculative and does not appear in major reports or literature. It would require more focused research on the specific commercial interests of both companies before and after Bayer's acquisition of Monsanto. So, of course, I asked some questions. Now, check this out. Strategic connections between Monsanto and Bayer were written out in a couple of books. Whitewash was one of them by Carey Gilliam. The other one was the Monsanto Papers by Carey Gilliam and Seeds of Destruction by William Engdahl. So dandelions have historically been used in traditional medicine, including for heart-related conditions. Dandelion root is known for its purported benefits such as supporting heart health, reducing blood pressure, and aiding in digestion. Now, hold on one second. Where's the light?
Still sitting up in bed, looking deep in thought. No, Mama insisted I leave early, Ella replied. She thought I could get a head start and settle in. She said it's only polite to help you since I'll be staying here for a while. Ruth gave a small, uneasy smile, trying to shake off the strange feeling from moments before. She helped Ella carry her luggage inside, showing her to the guest room. As they settled Ella in, Ruth couldn't stop thinking about what the boy had said. If he wasn't with her in the middle of the night, who or what was? Months passed, and Ruth discovered she was pregnant. The news filled the house with joy. Ruth's husband, Henry, was especially excited, dreaming of becoming a father.
It's so interesting how I reflect on so many things, and sometimes I do need to take a break so I can kind of self-reflect on all things and how they apply directly. I'm telling you, breathing is such a great everything. Breathing right oxygenates our blood so that we can actually think clear on spot. You do those, inhale through your nose, hold it. It's called 4-7-8. Inhale through your nose, 4, hold it 7 or 8, and then exhale with the other 7 or 8. And when you do it, you'll get that kind of cough if anything is blocking, and it removes it. It gives you such on point perspective and vision where I'm telling you, you can really see things in a different life, a different vantage point, I want to call it. But anyhow, so people have always known that dandelions were being used for heart medication, heart-related conditions, any of them. And even though I tried to link Monsanto to Bayer, it was Bayer all along because they acquired Monsanto back in 2018. So anything being said about Monsanto is now in 2021, when this post was done, is now about Bayer. So we know they acquired all the lobbying and all that other stuff so they can effectuate what they want to do with their company, right? And what they're showing us is that the glyphosate is controversial. It's being shown to do something as far as cancer, I don't want to misstate anything. That's why I want to read this pretty much word for word. Roundup, and they're still using Roundup, y'all. I went to a farm, and because I started this journey, then and then did I become even educated enough to even ask. I asked a farmer that came, I think it was Palisades, when we were, I don't know if it was Palisades, it was some kind of farmer's market. And I asked one of the farmers that came, what kind of fertilizers are you all using? What kind of herbicides, or what are y'all using? And I was hoping to hear like the doggone sludge that comes from compost, the bananas and all of that. They're saying to me, Roundup. I'm like, really? Y'all still using that? Okay. And it's something where they can't acclimate themselves off of it. It's kind of like in the soil. I don't know. One of the farmers was describing it to me. But that's the effect of some GMOs that are planted around natural plants that are not genetically modified. It affects them some kind of way. So, but anyhow, it says that the idea that Roundup's use benefited Bayer's pharmaceutical production by eradicating dandelions is speculative and does not, of course it doesn't. But I just want to know, it would require more focused research on specific commercial interests of both companies before and after Bayer's acquisition of Monsanto. Instead of saying, you realize, no, I should be saying it to him. And I'm not, because I don't want him to be biased, but I want him to give me information about Bayer since 2020, Bayer's involvement with the COVID pandemic. Yeah, I think I already know, but let's ask. I'm going to put it on speak so I can dictate. Now that Bayer has acquired Monsanto in 2018, the height of the pandemic, or the pandemic itself for COVID, really didn't get started till about November of 2019. Describe to me in detail the projects that Bayer and any of its affiliates were working on during that period of time, November 19, and from the time in 2018 that they acquired Monsanto. Then break down for me the operations, the projects, the affiliations that Bayer was involved with after November 2019 to date. I hate this. I'm telling you, this doggone dictator. Name is Arian. I'll tell you when I get there. But anyhow, while emoji did not while the merger did not involve any direct family connections or merges between the two companies, marriage is going to companies. Where are they getting this? Maybe this was already in the queue for my dictation. I'm telling you, this thing is crazy. I think somebody is really interested in what I have to say. And I can understand that. I really can. And it's funny. I persist on positivity, even when things, I need to stand up for. I still try to put it on positive. I really do. I'm trying to figure out what kind of things they're trying to contrive. Because this was really unexpected. One day, boom, boom, and never see the site again. Never see the page again. They did 7 days of violation on me for just mentioning the words. I was like, why do you think the Bible speaks against suicide? An instant went off, and the doggone violation was promoting suicide. I'm like, are y'all fucking out your mind? Are y'all fucking out your mind? I could not believe that happened on spot. I was like, what? Y'all don't understand this VPN. Now I'm offline. What is going on? Yeah, if y'all can catch a glimpse of me and anything I have to say, y'all save it. Because I'm going to tell you for real. This is a wild trip. You know, they have access to your IP address, they have access to everything. So they can control everything you do. You know, when they say the internet's going to get cut off and all this other shit, I believe it. They say it was previewed on The Simpsons. Y'all know it's something else when you got to go by a cartoon and it's actually on point with predicting your outcome. You know, what is going on with this thing? I mean, it's like strong arming me. I don't know what it is. But like I said, once they have your IP address, once you connect to any of these sites, they got you. You know, they can tell where you are. They identify you. You know, I don't know. But anyhow, all I have to say is fasting is a way out. Fasting is a freeing agent of all things that should not be in your body if you do it long enough. Fasting that I'm talking about is reset fasting for 21 days, nothing but distilled water. It's not for everybody. And I'm going to tell you that it is not for everybody. You check. Well, we've got people in my, I'm still going to call y'all my TikTok family because y'all are. I don't like the name TikTok in there, but y'all, that's what you all are. TikTok family. But anyhow, y'all know what I'm talking about. I don't know. It's funny because I keep thinking about the page being going, not being able to go live over there, you know, where people like Cheers, where people know your name. That's all I can remember of the song. Anyhow, um, strategic connections between Bayer and Monsanto. I know it's them, and that's cool. What I want y'all to take away from this is that these monsters aren't going anywhere. They are dictating your health. They gonna make sure they get that shit in the majority of y'all because that's about money. They gonna make sure you're either eating their food, you know, or having to take their medication. They gonna keep that in the loop. That's got to be kept in the loop. For those of you who are not, you know, on some part of it, you will be. You know, you have to be. How you gonna survive? Unless you do like breatharians, don't eat. You may not even be able to avoid it because you're breathing. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I believe the first line of defense for any human is the purge. You know, purge. And I don't care how you do that. It's all about the purge. I'm looking at so much bush here in St. Lucia that will give you the purge, but that's what it was here for. That's why it's here. It's for our use. That's why it grows from the ground, you know, with all the nutrients, not manipulated at all. And it does what it needs to do. It recycles those things that are more prevalent, that are needed more prevalently, are probably being created. Whereas I'm telling you, I'm seeing things in a different light from a different vantage point in that I believe that all things, I don't care uh, how you know, very insignificant. Everything is for a reason, and you just got to go with it. Just making it your intention, making your intentions, and letting them be known. My intention daily is to be happy, and I am most of the time. You know, at some point you'll see this rather than this. I can't even do it for real. But you know what I'm saying? You create that intention. But I really want to get into this because that following over on TikTok. Whereas I believe that, of course, it wasn't organic. I believe it might have been manipulated in some respects with TikTok. Because, you know, when we were just doing food, oh my God. Yes. And we're going to get back to that. But we got to do. I mean, when you elevate to a different frequency, you definitely got to share that, don't you think? And that's what's happening as you start clearing out the actual physical pathways in your body between the organs and all of that. When you start clearing the energy paths between your cells, and that's what happens when you purge your body. And I know that more to be the fact when you purge your body with a reset fast, and that's 21 days with nothing but um, distilled water. But let me end this up. I'm going to tell you all about the books. Now, I'm going to read this Strategic Connections. I don't want to go into that anymore because it's already been, confirmed pretty much. It's not Monsanto. It's not. It is Bayer. It is Bayer. They've already came in with a deficit, having to bear the embarrassment of Monsanto, and that's probably why many of us don't even know that Bayer and Monsanto are one now. They're one company. The CEO for Monsanto didn't come along. The technical director did not come along. Those were just some of the major company affiliates that didn't move over to Bayer when Bayer acquired Monsanto in 2018. Check this out. There's this one, the Monsanto Papers by Carey Gilliam. Check this out. This book delves into Monsanto's long-running battle to suppress information about the dangers of Roundup, particularly is linked to cancer. It also highlights the company's manipulation of scientific studies and relationships with regulatory bodies. Now that's Bayer. So when you start talking about that, they don't want you to, man, eradicate that account. All those accounts that, we have their IP addresses. We got everything. We got their connected families and contacts from because Google got that. I mean, really, go through the list of the people on the WF and find out who's who. Okay, suppression of science, ties to regulatory agencies, legal defense, Bayer's acquisition of Monsanto, public health implications, all of that is in this, and I'll read it to you later. But yeah, what I want you to take away from this without going into more details, and I before I read what Chat GPT has to say about any more of this, I want to do some more research. Because receipts are important. I don't care where you get them from, just have receipts. You ain't just making stuff up, no misinformation is from what you've gathered from someone else. Now, if they have the misinformation, you've already said that you don't know. You just tell them what you got. And from this, I don't see anything that could be misinformed. But we're going to delve into that. We're going to dissect all that Chat has to say. So that let's call this for educational purposes. We're on task as first off, investigators. Second off, as our own case studies. We're going to start, applying some of the fasting. If you decide you want to join us and do a fruit fast, just let us know. If you're going to do a water fast, if you're going to do any kind of fasting, just drop it in the comments. We're going to add you to our case studies. We'll probably come back and ask if you had any pre-existing things, because the case studies that I've been able to actually read in its entirety are those from Dr. Alan Goldhammer. And all you have to do is go, just Google him. His name is Dr. Alan Goldhammer with one M, Goldhamer. And he's like the aficionado when it comes to long-term water fasting. Y'all should follow him as well. But go to his site, and he has a whole case studies on a particular group of people that did, I think, it might have been 21 days, but it could have been 40 days of fasting. And he might have integrated it, because I've also read a study where he had some people who were doing 5 days of fasting up to like 40 days of fasting. We could do that as well. I don't care when you start. I don't care when you finish. I just want you to document on My Alkaline Vegan Journey on YouTube, because I like to really put a case studies to, and it's independent and all that. It may not be that accurate, but I believe we can get close. Any of you that are people who fast, people who do any kind of detoxification, might even do it on a regular, who are on, specific eating or not. If you're just eating anything and you're doing it intermittently, I'd like to hear from y'all too. because all of that fits into this case study, you know. Anyhow, I'm Robin. This is my alkaline vegan journey, and we're over here forever, I guess. I don't know. What does suspension mean? Does that mean you can get it back or can you even get access to your contacts and stuff? I don't know. I believe that I was a seed that bore other seeds, and all 90,000 of TikTok family members on my alkaline vegan journey received that seed because you're connected to me no matter what, whether I'm still connected to that or not. We made a connection. And I believe that's part of what resonance is all about. You'll probably get the uh, constant reminder in the back of your mind of just cleansing your system and making sure you stay in control of that system. And that's where maintenance comes in, where you're eating certain things, being prepared a certain way, and being able to kind of stay that course. And yeah, I mean, you're going to be fine. I'm telling you, Goldhammer talks about how you can keep visceral fat flowing. It don't need to stick, stay, or nothing because of the way you're eating. I believe that's kind of what happens to us as we're breaking the fast with the hierarchy and merging back into refeeding. Because, unless you decide, okay, this is my day to do this. And I'm telling you, I'm all for that. Don't deny that flesh until it manifests to some other stuff. Eradicate it, whatever way, even if it's taking, doing whatever and just stepping away. But having that willpower to do just that, and that's what it takes. And it's all in the mind. We set the mind. Only us can set the mind. We let outside figures try to control that, but no, we are in complete control. We just kind of give it away, thinking like them, trying to do like them, being ordered around by them, being dictated by them. You know what I'm saying? There are a lot of factors that come into play because for real, every which way you can't think for yourself. And you need to know yourself. And this is the great way to do it. Because willpower is necessary. Willpower, you can't live without it. And why not direct it in a direction that benefits you completely? Simple as that. So yeah, guys, I'm going to come back to this later because, like I said, I'd like to do a little more research. And I hope they're following me because I see that I'm telling you, all devices done like that. And then, I mean, it's like, and I don't want to put things together, but I'm an investigator. I already had them spidey senses. I was a private investigator for a long minute, like as old as my children. Ask them. I'm telling you. Anyhow, but yeah, and I think I was pretty respected because I tried to do things on the up and up. What they couldn't stand is my payment, my voucher. Because man, if I have to get up on the stand and testify to it, you think I'm not going to put it in a bill? Please. And I'm talking about every part of that investigation. When I'm sitting in the cafeteria coming up with strategy that I can offer in a memo, you say I shouldn't bill no parts. You crazy? And you do it? You bill for it? Come on now. But I was putting everything because I was more so documenting myself. And as I documented everything I did, yes, I want to be paid for it because there's nothing I'm doing for nothing. Now, some things I will. Some cases, straight pro bono. And I started a lot of cases, but in the end, there were some attorneys that stepped up, and then those that didn't. That so mad because they got fired. And the client held it and was victorious with just me. I guess that just stung. We didn't need you in the first place. And they speak about that in my investigation and research into Tesla and his 369. Y'all, when I bring this to you all, be prepared because I've been doing this research on the Fibonacci sequence that led me to Tesla, that led me to the 369, because I'm fascinated with math and science. I really loved it. And I struggled with it when I was younger, but I'm telling you, it was Miss Kellen from Iowa Maple. Oh my God. On spot with science and math. She hit me and I was like all in. I was a really poor math student. I was telling you, that was horrible. And after her, man, and my whole interest in math and science changed. At first I wanted to be a doctor. Then I was like, nah. Uh, uh, I more so like those um, the math being the physics of it, and the math being the differential equations and um, what's the integrations. I really like that, and I was still trying to grab it, but I didn't capture that until Howard. But I'm gonna tell y'all, the magic is in the math, and the math is being translated into the science. But the math, the numbers in the math is straight up. The whole, the whole, the whole. Anybody who's I really respect math teachers people who have really gotten deep into math. I wish I had really taken the time, and that's where music stems from. All math. Math is like the core. And that's why I want to do some more research on this stuff, because as we realize that we have companies that have a different agenda as far as our health, we need to be cognizant of that and do something about it. It's as simple as that. And if you don't, if your thing is, they've got our best interests at heart. I just like for you to, bring that to the table with cures, because I'm telling you, the TCM, these drugs that are being made in labs, many of them are stemming from the very roots, weeds, brush that we are calling weeds. Y'all just don't understand. Being here in St. Lucia and being without all of that crap, and all of it's growing in these areas that they call bush. Yeah, go in that bush and grab some of them leaves. I got you. But for someone to deliberately try to offset that to make $1, that's the spiritual warfare. I mean, when you say it's so, you're going to take away or try to obliterate what's natural. And you can't say you didn't know, because they keep saying in this text that from a long, long, long time ago, they knew about dandelion, and your shit is killing it. I think targeting it because of my experience, but at least killing it. What? Oh, you didn't know. You didn't know. But we need lawns. What was killing the weeds about? That's all I want to know. It's kind of eclectic, meaning that it was all for show, right? It didn't have anything to do with anything medicinal. Didn't have anything to do with, I don't know. And now Bear got it. Y'all. Bear. Yeah, y'all check out the CEO of Bear and the board members of Bear and see if any of them are on the board for the World Economic Forum. And just let me know. I'd just like to know. I might look it up myself, but I'm not. I'm so uninclined because, once you see the game, you just try to protect yourself. And if you can protect yourself in any way, you try to share it with others until it gets, knocked, the power goes out and kills the device. I don't know. The page gets eradicated after 5 years, 4 years, because of videos that sat on the page for 2 years, pinned to the top, where you're quoting word for word information from scholarly peer-reviewed articles. Somebody want me to come out and do this investigation. I see. Y'all ain't silly. Man, I see what y'all doing. It ain't nothing about nothing else. Because somebody's supposed to be really fired up about losing 90,000 followers, because it sits at the base of building, I guess, credibility with the company. And we now have a company. It's called My Alkaline Vegan Journey, MAVJ, Journey to Enlightenment, on Zimbabwe Farm in the Caribbean. And we've got all kinds of things to elevate your frequency. Because once you do that, you can consider yourself free. I'm serious. I'm serious. So anyhow, I'm going to cut this video short at an hour and 40 minutes on the dot right now. Hour and 40 minutes. Man, I can talk a lot. I'm gone. Yeah, join me here on YouTube. I don't know. Live is good. I'm going to start doing some posts, but I have to tell y'all, I really don't like these posts with these backgrounds where, you got this really very well off family in this beautiful kitchen and they got matching pajamas. I love that, but it's so artificial to me. Y'all don't understand. Authenticity just rings so close. And I don't know why I take it as being something other than authentic, but I like this vibe because we're really being able to talk to one another. If y'all were here, we'd be, have comments. But I don't know. I believe there might be a block on my alkaline vegan journey across the board. I really do. Because I believe that they together on that planet of really dominating the world. I mean, when I read about Larry Fink, that is so impressive to me. I mean, that we are comprised of such a group of people that God made that is so, what's the word? Subservient, willing to follow. I mean, that's a compassionate people. That is a loving people. And what's really happening now is that love and compassion and empathy and all of that is being manipulated by another kind of spirit, another kind of vibe. Our vibe is of light. Our vibe is of, honesty, sharing, caring, love. That other vibe is something different than that. And it's trying to overshadow some light that it cannot because it's ingrained. I mean, it's something about having that true rebirth. That first fast for me was like a true rebirth in that everything that was harming my body, like that excess inflammation that was flushed after day 7, the complete removal of glucose and glucogen that, I was once eating and now no longer, actually purged. I felt brand new, 60 pounds gone and not a flab nowhere. That's because it did it so perfectly. That's why I'm, and I know a lot of people have not done the all water fast, for extended periods of time. It's not for everyone. It is not for everyone. I'm going to keep saying it's not for everyone. Check yourself. Do your own research, whether it be through your doctor, your homeopath, your holistic medicine maker, your rain dance taker. Well, I don't know. Check for yourself because I know I'm just sharing with you the experience that I had, and it is amazing. Absolutely amazing. I'm talking about straight up where I'm a different person because a couple of incidents I should have gone to jail for real. But the way I'm thinking now is all about being positive. And you should really, walk in my shoes to see some of the things that I have to. And I think because I do the way I do, they think that I'm weak, or some may think. I think others realize the ultimate power that I have, and just being able to straight up with nothing but willpower, stuck on stupid, on positive, no matter what. Sometimes I slip. I can't stand myself when I slip because that's like, cheating on a fast. And I've never, ever done that. I've done 12 long-term fasts, 10 for 21 days. And that's just been since 2020 through 2020. I want to say, I'm not counting this year, 24, 23. Or yeah, I am 23. I am. But I really stop it at my second 40-day fast. And that was here in St. Lucia in 22. because I haven't been counting the rest because I'm always fasting. I really am. You should put it into your agenda daily, whether it be intermittent fasting on a daily and then once a week, just, I mean, I do the 1 day a week, Monday, Sunday midnight to Monday midnight when I decide to. Or I do it throughout the week where I just cut back on eating certain things. I'm always, going without some caloric intake. Because I believe that premise about being able to survive for long periods without that type of nutrition. Because I've done it where I'm drinking all day. He'll tell you, and I'm drinking all things, liquor, beer, trying to test the system. I notice when I do beer or Campari ain't nothing but a bitter, and that is a purge. But they put that yeast and sugar, which deviates, but we compensate because we're still getting the benefit of some of those herbs for purging. Everything in that thing is a purge. You hear me? I track all the ingredients in it, and everything in Campari is a medicine. You might as well call it. I wouldn't call it a medicine. See, I ain't got so used to calling this. No, it's a remedy. It's a it can be used as anything. What do we call our herbs? I want to call it an adaptogen. Got many words for it, but anyhow, I want you all to join our case studies. Join that. Let's do the case studies, independent case studies, where all of us decide to do some sort of fast, whether it be a 5-day fruit fast or a 2 days or 1 day dry fast. Any amount of time that you're going to fast, just let us know, and we're going to tag it. Leave your handle, maybe your email address, and I can put the whole list, everybody's tag name on YouTube, and send it to everyone, show you all how many people are in this case study. And we can evaluate it ourselves. And it seems like there's some other criterion that we might have to agree to disclosing so that we can really make it a case study. But y'all go to Dr. Alan Goldhammer just Google him and find out, I always preface my Google searches with scholarly peer-reviewed articles on Alan Goldhammer and case studies, something like that. And they'll give you some link to any of those case studies for those scholarly peer-reviewed articles he's been publishing, and that's where I get most of my information. For them to tag my stuff for misinformation, I wish I had the opportunity to challenge them, because I used to have to testify to information. Now you might have gotten some objections and stuff, but when I'm speaking from my vantage point. I'm speaking from, and that's what a lot of people fail to realize. Anybody be right because they're referencing what they're experiencing from their vantage point. How you gonna tell them from where they stand they're wrong? Unless I don't know. There are some things that, yeah, I guess you might feel that you can step in and actually say that, yeah, it's right or wrong. But from my vantage point, truly, because we stand in different vantage points and have different perspectives, everybody's perspective needs to be respected. I say everyone is right, straight up, because can't nobody stand in your shoes and reflect as you might, or perceive as you might, and until we can do that, yeah, everybody's right, because it's from their perspective. Anyhow, I'm gonna leave you all with that. Join our case studies, and please join us with the, okay, we got the case studies, the fasting and stuff, and we had another one I forgot already, because I'm anxious to get off. I'm looking at something on my screen that yells investigate, because I've missed it, and I want to find out before I say anything on live or anything. But join me again. We're going to investigate the dandelion, and some of those who have direct connect to them. Okay.